Knowing what to pack for Everest Base Camp is an absolute minefield. Before I went on the Everest Base Camp trek, I had no idea what to pack. I spent hours scouring through different websites and just trying to work out how to pack everything I needed and do so effectively. So I didn't record a what I'm packing for Everest Base Camp video because honestly I had no idea if I was doing it right. So what I've decided to do instead is to make this video now I'm back with everything I did take and any information about things that I didn't take, along with anything that I wish I had taken. So hopefully this video will be much more useful. If you're new here, hi, my name's Claire and I spend a lot of time traveling all over the world, but I do live in southwest England. I just got back from my most recent trip, which was to Nepal to hike Everest Base Camp. So if you're hiking Everest Base Camp, this is going to be a really useful video for you, or if you're planning on doing any kind of hiking in Nepal, I think you will find this video very handy. Without further ado, let's get straight into what you need to pack for Everest Base Camp. So the first thing, this shouldn't come as any surprise, boots. Now I needed to get some new boots before I did the Everest Base Camp hike, and I went to, what's the shop called? The big shoe shop. Completely forgotten what it was called. But anyway, I went to the big shoe shop. Not Cotswolds, is it Cotswolds? I don't know. Anyway, I went to one of the shoe shops and I said, hiking Everest Base Camp, need some new boots. And they were basically like, if you want some good quality boots that are not going to let you down, there is nothing better than Salomon's. These were expensive. These were £200. That's the most I've ever spent on shoes, but they were worth it. They were amazing. They got me all the way there. They're completely waterproof. They're very, very comfortable. They're very reliable, and they're still in very, very good nick, which you'd expect after spending £200 on shoes. So I definitely do recommend these. I will put a link to them in the description, but obviously you don't have to spend £200 on shoes if you don't want to spend that much. But I will say, if you're going to invest in one thing for the Everest Base Camp trek, it should be a really good pair of shoes. These are all the clothes that I took with me on the Everest Base Camp trek. Basically, I had a couple of weeks extra in Nepal, so I put everything that I was using for trekking separate to everything else that I was wearing. Actually, there are a few clothes here that I didn't take trekking, so this skirt obviously did not trek with. So let's take a look at everything that I took with me. I didn't actually bring that many clothes because I knew I was going to smelt anyway. I re-wore quite a lot of things and it helps to keep the weight down. So first up, this actually I didn't wear hiking at all. This was just a pyjama top, t-shirt that I wore in the tea houses. So when you do the Everest Base Camp trek, you stay in tea houses, which are like little B&Bs, and I wanted to make sure I had like a tea house outfit that I could wear that was comfortable and warm, and I would put this on as soon as I got to the tea houses, and then I would wear it for the evening, and I would also sleep in it because they get very cold, they don't have heating, and they're up in the mountains. So I had this really thick jumper which I wore every single night, and then I also wore, where are they? These socks. And these were my non-hiking socks, so I very strictly only wore these in the tea houses in the evenings. And then there should also be, I'm gonna have to tip all this out, and then these tracksuit bottoms, which I also only wore in the tea houses, and again, these also were like pyjama bottoms. So this was my full like tea house / sleeping outfit. On to hiking clothes. So I had two of these tops. These were sort of lightweight, long sleeve tops. I think they have some UV protection. I actually bought these in Kathmandu. So one of the good things to know before doing the Everest Base Camp hike is actually you can buy most things in Kathmandu. Some of the things aren't as good quality as you might find elsewhere, so you might want to make sure you get some things elsewhere if you want to be really particular about what actual kind of thing you get. But for tops and things, you can really easily pick them up in Tamil, which is like the centre of Kathmandu where all the hiking shops are, and they are very, very affordable. So I had two of these, 1, 2, and yeah, these are apparently North Face, but I think they're knockoff North Face. Then I also had this merino wool top, and this, my friends got me this for my birthday, and this was super, super warm, and it was great for the colder days when you're up a little bit higher elevation, because it does get very cold. Merino wool's great because it like wicks your sweat away, so it doesn't like smell too much, and it dries very quickly. So definitely recommend one of these. It's worth the investment, even if you just get the one. They're not cheap, they're about £50-60, but it was worth it. I also did buy another what said it was merino wool top from Mountain Warehouse, but actually this wasn't as good quality, but I did wear it a couple of times. So yeah, I had this one. This was only about £35 and it was comfy and it did keep me warm, so it was worth having as well. So in total I had 4 tops for hiking, which was plenty, to be honest. Then I also had this jumper. Now this is a very thermal jumper. It's incredibly warm and I bought it for hiking, but actually I only wore it a couple of times. Like I say, it is warm and it does keep me very toasty, but actually I found when I was hiking most of the time I got too warm as soon as I was moving, but sometimes I would put it on when we were sitting down if we were outside and stuff. Trousers wise, I had these trousers which were just hiking leggings. They're just normal running leggings. I think they're Able, the brand, and you know, I wear these at home to go to like boot camp in the gym and stuff, and they work pretty well. I generally wore these when I was a bit lower in elevation. And then I also had these hiking trousers, and these were quite good. These are waterproof and they were quite good at higher elevations because I'd wear them over my running leggings. Also a couple of days I just wore these as well. If you're hiking in April, which is when we were, or May, you won't need too many other layers, but if you're going in, especially like the end of February, which is when the hiking season starts, or any other time in the winter, you might need some extra like thermal pants, maybe down pants or something like that, because it does get cold. But it wasn't too bad for us. This is very, very important. Rain jacket. It didn't actually rain much when we were there, but it also worked very well as like a windbreaker. So yeah, definitely good quality rain jacket is essential. You can pick one of these up in Kathmandu as well if you don't have one at home. I did actually bring 2 woolly hats, but I didn't really need them. I had one woolly hat I think I wore a couple of times when we were hiking, but only in the mornings, and then when I started warming up I took it off. And then I tried to keep this woolly hat for the tea houses. I was recommended to sleep in a woolly hat because you can get migraines if your body's warm and your head's cold. But actually, because it wasn't as cold for us, I found I only needed it a couple of the nights. Socks wise, I didn't actually bring enough socks. We arrived home yesterday and I had an Amazon package waiting for me with some of my Everest Base Camp supplies that I just hadn't ordered in time. So I only had, I think, 3 pairs of these socks. Again, these are merino wool socks, which I really recommend, but that wasn't really enough. I'd probably recommend 4 or 5 pairs. I did also have these thermal leggings. Again, I thought I might need these in the evenings to wear underneath my tracksuit bottoms, but like I say, because it wasn't as cold for us, I didn't actually use these that much. So I would definitely recommend packing them if you're going in the colder time of year, but you might not need them if you're going in the warmer part of the year. We were given a top as well. This is from our company. So we went with Nepal Hiking Adventure Company and they gave us this little branded top which we wore on base camp day to get some photos. But actually before that I did also wear it a couple of times in the tea houses, like before I'd hiked in it, to just have another nice clean top. Then obviously underwear, I did bring, I think I brought enough underwear for every day. I did read on some blog posts and stuff before I went that some people who go earlier in the year actually found it too cold to even like change their underwear. This wasn't the case for us. Like I say, it was not that cold for us, so I just brought, yeah, the standard like 10 pairs of underwear. One thing that I can't believe I forgot was a sports bra, so I just brought my normal bra, which was fine, but yeah, I completely forgot a sports bra, so definitely don't forget that. I had this headband, which I thought might be quite useful to keep the hair off my face and stuff, but actually I wore it a couple of times and I found it would give me a headache because it was quite tight around my head. So then I stopped wearing it. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit, I didn't really need it. Gloves wise, I brought 2 pairs of gloves. I brought one normal pair of like knitted gloves, and then I had these gloves as well which were waterproof. Again, I didn't really need 2 pairs of gloves. Sometimes I did wear these when it was especially cold, and sometimes I did wear my other ones, but then a lot of the time I wasn't wearing either gloves either. Like I say, it's a running trend, but if you go in April, it is obviously going to be a bit warmer. This is a real essential. So this is a buff and you wear it like over your nose and mouth, and it can get really, really dusty on the trail, and if you breathe in the dust, it can go into your lungs and it can be quite dangerous. You can get kambu cough, they call it, and apparently that can last for like months. So it's a good idea to try and avoid that where possible. So I would recommend taking one of these. Then, oh, it's not in here, but I did buy a big down jacket in Kathmandu, and I would recommend getting one of these in Kathmandu because mine kept me super, super warm, and it was so cheap. It was like £15, I think, for like this really nice, good quality down jacket, and I've still got it and I'm going to wear it again and again in the winter here as well, so definitely recommend that. But I did rent a sleeping bag in Kathmandu, But what I did, because I rented one, is I bought a sleeping bag liner. Again, bought it in Kathmandu, and this was just for hygiene reasons. I think all the sleeping bags were washed and everything, but it was an extra layer while I was sleeping, and yeah, just keeps it a bit more hygienic. The tea houses that you stay in, they have sheets and duvets and pillowcases, but I don't know if they're washed between every use. So it is nice to have your own liner just for hygiene reasons. Right, what else have we got? I love a hot water bottle. I sleep with a hot water bottle at home most nights, apart from when it's really warm. And this really saved me. This did keep me quite warm and toasty, which might have been why I didn't find it so cold otherwise in the nights. But I got this filled up in the tea houses. It does cost. It costs 300 to 500 rupees to get it filled up, but for me, it was worth it. I do recommend these if you're prone to feeling a bit cold. I brought this. This is another buff, and it's like a warmer buff with some insulation. I didn't use it. I literally didn't use it once. Like, I wasn't cold enough to need it. But again, if you're visiting in the winter, you might want something like this. Right, what else have we got? Water to go bottle. So, I would really recommend taking a water to go bottle. These are always my favoured water filtration bottles. I've been using them for years, and basically, this just means you can fill up from the tap and the water is safe to drink. The only place they didn't recommend doing it, although I think the water to go bottle would have been fine, but our guides kept recommending we didn't drink the tap water there, so I thought I won't tempt fate, was in Gorakhshat, because they get all their water from a well and there's a lot of dust in the water. But water to go bottles, you are supposed to literally be able to drink from any water source, so I think it would have been fine, but for the sake of a few hundred rupees, I thought I'd just drink bottled water in Gorakhshat. But everywhere else, I just filled up from the tap, and it was absolutely fine. So definitely recommend packing one of these. I bought this in Namche Bazaar. It's a little Everest Base Camp journal. So obviously, like, I didn't pack this to go with me, but it was nice to have, and it's a nice little keepsake. So if you want something similar, Namche Bazaar is one of the first stops, and they sold like loads of these everywhere. They're super lightweight, and it's a really nice way to sort of store all your memories. Toilet roll. Why do I still have this toilet roll? For some reason we ended up with loads of surplus toilet roll, and I didn't want to throw it away, and I had space in my bag, so I've taken it back to the UK with me. But don't forget to pack toilet roll. There's no toilet roll in any of the bathrooms or any of the tea houses, and it can be quite expensive, so definitely remember to pack these. Either get them in Kathmandu, or if you have space, bring them from your country. Right, next up, hand sanitizer. You're going to need hand sanitizer. Again, there isn't any soap, and it can get quite messy, so pack a couple of bottles of hand sanitizer. Again, you can buy it in Kathmandu very easily. You can also buy it in Namche Bazaar, but just be aware that in Namche Bazaar things start getting more expensive, and then from then it only gets more and more expensive. So try and remember to pack these before you go to the mountains if you can. Face wipes, pretty standard. You don't really have a skincare routine in the mountains. I just wipe my face and put some moisturiser on, and that was pretty much it. So I would definitely recommend packing some face wipes. And I don't think I have any left, but I would also recommend packing body wipes, because you cannot shower for a whole week. So you are going to need to do a wet wipe wash. This was my day pack. So I packed everything into a duffel bag that was for my, like, all my clothes and everything, and then this is just what I needed day to day. So it's really good to have like a proper, like, good day pack bag with straps that you can adjust, and that is very comfy. This one was really good, and in this I just kept water, snacks, power banks, camera stuff, anything that I needed for the day. Sunglasses. I really don't like these sunglasses, but you will need some good sunglasses, some high quality sunglasses. Just like you'll need sunglasses, you'll also need a baseball cap. And I wore this way more than I wore my woolly hat. This is actually an Everest Base Camp baseball cap, which I got back in Kathmandu, but I had another one for the hike. Yeah, you will wear this a lot, and the sun is very, very strong up in the mountains, so I would definitely recommend wearing one of these as much as possible. Toothpaste, toothbrush, doesn't really need any explanation. Let's see what else we've got in here. If you want like a nice little facial treat, because you can't really do like your whole skincare routine there, but you could buy a couple of these sheet masks, because you just like put them on and then take them off. I actually didn't. I had them in my main case, which I left in Kathmandu, but one of my friends did, and I thought that's actually a really good idea. I had another buff. I would recommend taking 2 of these if you can, because they get quite dirty after a while, and you don't really want it around your face when it's dirty. So yeah, a couple of buffs is good. They don't weigh much. I would recommend taking a little thing of multivitamins. You don't get a huge amount of vitamins obviously on the trail, so taking one of these can help quite a lot, just to make sure your body's getting everything that it needs. you're putting your body under a lot of strain by doing this hike, so it is a good idea to try and look after it where you can. Antiseptic cream is another good idea, just in case you get any cuts or anything like that. Moisturiser was pretty much my whole skincare routine, so I just had this bottle and just applied that every night, which was good because the air does dry your skin out quite a lot. And Vaseline is also an essential. I honestly had the driest lips and I was applying this constantly. Deodorant, good to remember. I've used a lot of my medicines by now, but a few things that I would recommend taking is paracetamol, Lemsip. We actually all drank quite a lot of Lemsip because we all felt a bit throaty, and obviously it's got paracetamol in as well, so it was quite good for headaches and things like that. More paracetamol, more Antibat. Strepsils were also really handy to have. Yeah, my throat just felt a bit weird the whole time, and they did help quite a lot. I also bought this in Kathmandu. I didn't actually use it, but it was just a nasal spray just for colds. More Strepsils. And Diamox. So I took Diamox, which is the altitude sickness tablets. Not everyone takes them. Quite a few people in our group chose not to take them. Completely up to you whether you take them or not. I actually did a consultation with my pharmacist, Boots, the pharmacist in the UK, before I left, and they prescribed me them. You can also get them over the counter in Kathmandu, although if you do get them in Nepal, just be aware that not everyone can take them. So if you've got any other pre-existing medical conditions, or if you take any other medication, it is a good idea to speak to a doctor or pharmacist first. Yeah, I think I would recommend having them just in case, because if you get altitude sickness and you don't have them, then that increases your chance of needing to be airlifted off the mountain. And yeah, like I say, I did choose to take them because I did start feeling a little bit funny at one point, and they did help. So completely up to everyone's personal decision, but I think that was definitely the right thing for me. I bought these in Kathmandu. These are amazing. They're like slippers, but they literally look like sleeping bags for my feet. Honestly, these were the best things I bought. You can get them in Kathmandu really easily. They're so comfy and warm. Definitely recommend. Another loo roll. Hiking poles. So these are my hiking poles. I use them to hike around the UK, and I couldn't hike without them. I'm very much a pole person, but a lot of people don't take them. It's completely up to you, but I would say they definitely saved my knees when I was going down, and they helped me like pull myself up sometimes as well. If you don't have any hiking poles, you can buy them in Kathmandu very easily. I think you can rent them as well. And then bladder. So I didn't actually use this. It was quite difficult to arrange, like sorting out the water and stuff, but a lot of people do swear by a hydration bladder, which you can put in your day pack and then drink. You sort of drink like that. However, yeah, it was difficult with filling them up properly, and we ended up just having like bottles of water, and then I'd fill it into my water to go bottle. But you might want to take one of these. Our tour gave us a little map, which is quite cool, so we could track where we were. But if you're not doing a tour, or if you don't get one of these, you might want to buy one because it's nice to have. Nice little memento. I mentioned the sun. Don't forget the sun cream. Really important, like you're gonna burn if you don't put factor 50 sun cream on. I didn't actually use this, but I bought it in Kathmandu. It was a rain pack cover for my day bag. It didn't rain at all really when we were there, but it's good to have just in case. You are gonna need a towel for the tea houses. Even though you can't shower much, you can have a shower like when you're a little bit lower down. I forgot a towel, so I had to borrow my partner's. Then I saw one in Namche Bazaar and I thought, I'm gonna buy this. It was literally this size. I was like, that is okay towel. It's also Hello Kitty. Yeah, I would recommend bringing a towel, but just a small like travel towel or something will be fine. But yeah, you don't get anything in tea houses. You don't get toilet roll, you don't get soap, you don't get towels. So definitely remember to bring something like that. Tiger balm is another really good thing to have. It's good for all sorts really. It's good for decongesting, it's good for headaches, it's good for any other like aches and pains. So it's just a very good all-rounder. You can buy this at a pharmacy in Kathmandu very easily. Actually, all the medication that I said you can buy in Kathmandu. So if you don't want to buy it before you go, then that's really easy to do. There's loads of like Trekkers pharmacies, and they literally have everything you could need there. I honestly think that is about it. I also had like stuff like, this is my tripod for my phone to film TikToks and things, but obviously not everyone will need one of those. I had the camera, which I'm talking to now. You have to bring your passport because you need it to register for the hikes and for the flights. Obviously money, you need money. I spent, I think it was about £300 in the end, which included all the tips. That included about just under £100 worth of tips. And then I spent about £200 on snacks, toilet roll, water. You do end up spending money on things. I did spend a little bit more than I thought I would, and prices do get higher the higher up you go. There is a cash machine in Namche Bazaar, but it's not guaranteed that it will work. Actually, there's 3 cash machines in Namche Bazaar. When we were there, 2 of them didn't work and 1 of them did. So I would recommend getting more than enough cash out in Kathmandu before you go. If you don't want to get it all in rupees, then you could just get it in dollars. You can tip your guide and porters in dollars, but we'll need rupees to pay for like small things along the trail. This was the bag that they gave us, so we had to put all of our like overnight things in here. It had to be 15 kilograms maximum, but for the flight the 15 kilograms also includes your day pack, so like everything was 15 kilograms, and then the porters could carry a maximum of 15 kilograms per person. But the one thing I will say is obviously the porters have to carry it, so it is polite to make sure these are as light as possible for them, because it's a hard job they have and they carry 2 of them. Like, they are literally superhuman. It's incredible. But yeah, I would really recommend just making their life a bit easier and not like overloading it. I feel like I'm probably going to forget something, but I actually feel like that was pretty much everything that I packed. I've got some other stuff as well, but these were all like micellar water. I didn't take this on the hike, I left it in Kathmandu, and other like skincare stuff. So I think pretty much everything else was stuff that I used for the rest of my trip, not for the actual Everest Base Camp hike itself. If I do remember that I've forgotten anything when I'm editing this video, I will write it on the screen now. I will put absolutely everything that I mentioned in this video into a blog post. The blog post will be linked in the description, and from there you can get like a full list of everything that I packed and everything that I used, and you can also use it to like click through to make purchases as well. So hopefully that'll all be streamlined quite easily. Forgot my electrics. So you can't charge that much on the trail. So definitely pack a couple of these power banks. I had 2 power banks and that did last me. We were able to charge for free up to Namche Bazaar, and then after Namche Bazaar they start charging you. Headphones are obviously a good idea if you want to listen to music or anything. And then obviously I brought all my standard charging cables, but didn't use them that much because you can't charge that much. And then I also had my watch, which I forgot the charger for, and it ran out of battery very quickly, so unfortunately I only had managed to track like my first couple of days of hiking. And a hairbrush, obviously didn't forget my hairbrush as well. Everything's a bit all over the place. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So thank you so much for watching this video. There will be a full packing list below, and if I have forgotten anything in this video, the packing list should be full and should include absolutely everything that I packed. But hopefully this has given you a rough idea of what to pack and what not to pack. And if you haven't seen all of my Everest Base Camp vlogs, do check those out as well, because that gives you a full idea of exactly what to expect from this trip. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time.